story says that millennials are broke and they're blaming their parents. This is in Gawker. Young adults of America have been sold a dream their entire lives. Go to the right school, get the right job, buy a house, live the American dream. The American dream is dead. School is a debt trap. Young people are losing the economic race with the old. And for households headed by someone 40 years old or younger, wealth adjusted for inflation remains 30% below the levels in 2007 because, the recession, and this really was the Great Recession. This was a depression-like event. And it's only the thinnest of definitions that changes the reality there. But this is a Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis did this study and shows that that the people under 40, which is millennials and beyond. That's millennials and Generation X, right? Mm-hmm. I lose track.
There's a new term coming out right now called yummies, which is the worst term ever for the next generation.
What does that stand for?
Some other idiotic place came up with this.
Yummies?
Yummies.
Well, because you had yuppies. So it's like I got to be a take on that. But that stood for young, urban,
millennial men in extreme situations. That would be yummies. All right, so it's a combination of student loan debt, weak job market, and the inability to bounce back from the decline in home prices, because many of them had gone into the, bought homes, and now they have lost this. Now, why is it that this has happened? It's because of their parents' greed. That essentially is the answer that many millennials will give you.
So their parents aren't taking care of them anymore?
Essentially, yes.
Oh, please.
So, and because their parents also, created an economic circumstance that made it impossible for them to actually be able to survive. I don't know what the hell that is supposed to mean.
What could they have done?
By creating the economic, it's not even their parents, but it's the generation above. They're basically blaming baby boomers.
Yeah, they're saying you've left the economy in a shambles, and unless we can figure out a way to invent the new PayPal, we're not going to become millionaires. Nobody's becoming an industrialist legend anymore, a tycoon by building ships and things, right?
Well, and the need for employees through the digitization of labor. Yeah. Is less and less and less. Even, we now live in a world in which, you call a call center and you need to talk to somebody where you're calling somewhere overseas, generally. Yeah. If you need to build something, it's being built overseas. Or if they're building something here, it's being built robotically.
That's exactly right. The old assembly line to build the Model T, those are all human beings, and now they're robotic arms and things, and you can screw lids on jars and all that 10 times faster than a human can, right?
And if you look at some of the things like, for example, when you have a major, one of the scarier issues is when you have a major tech company that gets swallowed up by a bigger tech company. Let's say Google goes and buys a company, or Facebook goes and buys a company. Facebook bought a social media company recently, right? That was it. Instagram, I think it was. Was it? Yeah, Facebook bought Instagram.
Yeah, they did.
Instagram had like 80 employees. It was worth billions of dollars.
That's insane. Yeah.
Wow.
When you think about the reach of that,
right?
And I would imagine Twitter, they may have more than that, but they don't need to have 10,000 employees.
Correct.
And IBM, God knows how many tens of thousands of employees they had back in the day, or any major, U.S. Steel. I mean, wasn't that the famous line from The Godfather, Part 2?
Yes, we're bigger than U.S. Steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's the problem is if you have all of this wealth that's being amassed, but it's only going to be divided by 100 people, and not even equally divided by 100 people, you're living in a very different economy than when you had a company like U.S. Steel that employed tens of thousands of people all over the world and paid them a living wage to have a family and a salary and all that. It's all changed.
I mean, look, every generation at that age is whiny anyway, but there's some validity to this. Previous generations were so good at developing different types of technology, and the economy has changed. The jobs aren't there. All the fields that we've all worked in, radio and TV and newspapers and any of that, there were far more employees at various radio and television stations, or certainly at newspapers 20 years ago than there are today, for a variety of reasons.
Mike, you're on WLS. Hey, Mike.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, listen, I boiled it down to this. Adversity has a way of concealing genius, while prosperity has a way of the other way around.
Boy, you boiled this down really well.
Fool me once, shame on all of us. Fool me twice.
What you're
Get
trying
your
to
own
say
show.
is adversity has a way of revealing genius, and prosperity hides shortcomings.
Yes, and prosperity conceals genius, and that's what happens. Generations get too comfortable, and then all of a sudden they can't make it. They can't fly.
Right. Well, that doesn't really apply in this particular case, because the baby boom generation and Generation X, were definitely, especially baby boomers, were the inheritors of their parents' ability to educate them, to put a roof over their heads, to create a middle class experience in America, which is really the post-war middle class experience, which is the largest expansion of both in terms of property and wealth and lifestyle and product aggregation that there has ever been in any human experience ever. Short, maybe, of the Chinese one right now.
1982 was a terrible economy, and that's when I hit the job market, and I didn't go into what I wanted to do, but I did something, and it morphed into something else, and those are tough times, but you just have to muck through it. The end of each generation seems to get the worst. We're the baby with the bathwater.
I guess the question, though, and I understand what you're saying, but the question is one step beyond that now, which is we're going totally away from an industrial economy here, mostly a service economy. And, there's stratification of jobs in the service economy, and the service economy has a lot of very, very low paying jobs and some medium paying, middle class wage jobs, and then very few big payday jobs. Right? And that's
true. I would bring back the manufacturing in the United States.
But how do you do that?
How to do it.
How do you do that?
You lower the corporate tax rate, and you get every one of the 1,000 top manufacturers in the United States in one room in Vegas. You give them coffee and bagels, and you say, we'll drop the tax rate to 20% and make it good for 25 years if you bring 75% of your manufacturing back to the United States within the next 5 years. They come in, repatriate billions of dollars, buy up all the destitute real estate that still has good location, revitalize it, retrain, remanufacture.
All right, I'm with you. I'll book the hotel room. You get the rest of those guys together. We'll do it, Mike. Thank you.
Half of the people will walk out if there aren't donuts as well as bagels. That's the only problem with that. Try to get them all to agree.
What kind of coffee is this? Is this Starbucks or Lavazza? All right. Millennials are broke, and they would like to blame the economy and their parents, and they may be right. Not the parent part, not so much. But the economy has certainly changed around them. And what does a young, educated person do when they come out into the workforce now? When the companies that are really making the money, big companies are making the money.
I'll tell you what they do. They make my latte, and they make it damn well. Let me tell you something, too. The yummy, I'm told, is the young urban male. That's the yummy.
Oh.
We're trying to kill that term before it becomes popular, if we can.
So my young urban millennial male in extreme situations is right. Yummies, that's what that would be.
You're a genius.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh.
Why just the males, though?
Yeah, what happened to the female?
Those are the young urban moms. I just made that up.
Those are yufmies.
Well,
do we have to do that?
Here we go.
Too?
Let's go. What about the milfies? Are they still out there?
To the phones we go. Frank, get us out of this. Frank, you're on WLS. Hi, Frank.
Hey, guys. I'm a huge fan of the show. Hey, I'm 24 years old. I'm an assistant superintendent of a big construction company. I'm getting ready to buy my first house. The economy's not the same as what it was, but you really put your head down and you power on through it, and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I think that there are some. There's always going to be opportunities. Listen, let's not be crazy. They're building stuff, and in construction, it's interesting. Even though construction has had, one would argue, not the best decade, right? Not the best last 10 years.
No, not at all. No.
But it had a pretty great 10 years prior to that. But you were 4 then, sir. So. But that will eventually, that will come back. And there's, construction around the world is really taking off. Did you go to school for this?
Nope. Came up through the ranks.
And when you say it's turning around, how confident are you that this is really going to turn into something that's going to be a career for you?
I'm thrilled, more than thrilled. I put food on the table for my wife and my daughter, and, get ready to buy a house. I mean, how many other 24-year-olds are getting ready to buy a house?
None.
Unless they play shortstop or point guard, not too many.
Well, congratulations to you, sir, and good luck. I hope it stays. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, is that we're concerned that industry was
I
really
like Frank. That's Frank Trump, by the way. That was playing at home though. Came up through the ring. My kind of guy.
The idea of that real estate and construction, all of that is going to continue to boom again. I mean, that's really the great hope, and that drives everything. Because housing prices go up, people feel more confident. I mean, that's the industry that really is the one that drives America. Literally, puts the roads down, puts the shopping malls in, makes for the economy. James, you're on WLS. Hey, James.
Hey, guys, fascinating discussion. I'm in my early 50s. I have a 13-year-old daughter, and when I see the millennials are not chronic whiners, the situation we have is they are the greatest victims in the world of history as it relates to intergenerational theft. Right now, we have $17 trillion in debt that's been accumulated over the last 30 years because there's programs that we want right now that we don't want to pay for. So we're transferring the cost of those programs on to millennial generations and future generations. And this has been the greatest fraud that's ever been perpetrated. And it's funny, I listen to WLS quite a bit, and during the day, I hear various conservative Republican congressmen who get up and they've been whining about Obamacare for, the last year. Forget Obamacare. Right now, Medicare and Medicaid, and the reason I bring up Medicaid is because a third of the costs are for nursing home care. Those two programs constitute what I, as a libertarian, would call government-run health care. That's 24% of all federal spending right there. That is the largest program it is. So we're taxing young people who are working at McDonald's, who are working entry-level jobs through Social Security payroll taxes paid for Social Security. We're taxing them for the Medicare hospitalization portion. And a lot of these people don't even have their own health insurance. So we keep doing this, and then you look at the global economy and you look at our specific situation in the United States. Businesses right now are not looking to invest money to expand unless they know it's going to be a sure thing. Because anybody with any sense, any monetary sense, is looking at the $17 trillion and say, when's it going to end? When's the collapse going to come? So because of that, that's why the millennial generation is being treated so unfairly. They didn't ask for this. They didn't vote for these programs. They didn't vote for these people in office, and now they're stuck paying the tab for it. It's a horrendous miscarriage of justice.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Put James and Frank in a room together. They got some good ideas.
Like James.
All right.
James, by the way, James will be having this show starting Monday.
James and Frank.
Yes.